Our film is fashioned as a thriller, really. It is hopefully a page-turning kind of thriller where two men meet, have a conversation.
The kidnapping of an American citizen.
If another man is being kidnapped, a clock is ticking and you don't know what is going to happen, who will live and who will die. And that is the tale. It's almost like Shahrazad's tale. That is the tale that both these men spin for each other. And as they spin this tale, we go off and we see this life of the young man as he has gone to New York and Princeton and the highest echelons of Western society. So it's a movie that takes place in two times, in 2001 and 2011. The pace and rhythm of the film is really a thriller. But you know, I'm a person who is full of appetite for life and beauty and fun and fashion. And so in my films, you get taken on that ride as well.
I kind of stalked this project. As soon as I read the book, I was like, I love this book. Oh my God, this has to be a film. I phoned up the publisher. I was like, can I have the film rights? They said, go away. Forgot about it, was brokenhearted. Then realized there was a film being made. Couldn't really get an audition for it. I hadn't really done many romantic roles. So she was like, I don't know, I need a romantic lead.
What do you want? How's that? It would just look good.
I was actually not going to be able to do the movie because I got pregnant. I had just had the baby 8 weeks before I started shooting, and I just said absolutely, you know, and I was breastfeeding the whole time, and every 3 hours I was, you know, we'd breastfeed and Mira would rub my feet and they'd be changing the setups. It was definitely an emotional experience.
Okay. Come on, guys, let's make a movie here.
Mira used this extremely sensitive political backdrop to tell a story about how to connect. We had a really intimate set, which was nice because it felt like a different story within her big tapestry.
You look so serious.
Oh my God.
What?
I couldn't find the combination I needed of a authentic Pakistani young man who speaks Urdu colloquially, who dreams in English, who can be as elegant in a Wall Street corporate party as he is bedding Kate Hudson, as he is with his family in Lahore and knowing poems. It took me a year and a half to find Riz Ahmed. I made him read a scene where he both shames his father and is afflicted by remorse.
Look at your mother's handiwork.
She had some assistance.
What do you mean?
I mean that this job of mine you don't see the point of actually helped to create this celebration, all right?
And Riz just got it, you know, instantly. He understood the idea of izzat, what we call izzat, which is honor and shame, so beautifully and deeply. And I just immediately knew I had found Chengiz.
A lot of the film is about him trying to find his identity because he's coming from a family of artists and poets, and that's why Wall Street for him in a weird way is a kind of rebellion.
I play Jim Cross, who is the managing director of a very high-end boutique hedge fund, and I hire Riz's character named Chungus.
How do you squeeze more productivity out of a company that pays its workers $5 a day?
They would find out that a broken company is actually more valuable than a functioning company, and that they take it apart and sell it. It's almost like stealing a car, and the car's value is actually greater by the sum of its parts than as a working machine.
I say,
let's get a team in from Japan and fix the line. Then this entire crew becomes completely superfluous.
You have a gift for this. A very lucrative gift. Consider this a down payment. You're a long way from Lahore, kid. Let's eat. And then the terrible events of 9/11 occur and his life changes. And it is a story about how through our own fear and I guess ignorance on some level, that we have taken, in some cases, our greatest allies and turned them into our enemies. And that is what the film is about to me.
The hero of our story, Chengiz, is a rising star in Wall Street. And he returns to a home, Pakistan, which is now burning with all kinds of religious and extremism. And the reluctant fundamentalist in our title is both a reluctance to be a fundamentalist economically and certainly religiously.
The beard? Well, I guess it represents, his evolution as a character, as a young man. He goes through certain changes and he takes on certain aspects of his culture. So in that sense, it is relevant. But hopefully there's more to the character than the beard.
There can be laziness behind growing a beard. There can be a kind of national identification behind growing a beard. There can be a kind of anti-corporatist sentiment, and there can be sort of religious motivations behind growing a beard. And we can never know when we see a beard which of those things is at play. And in Chengiz's case, some, all, several of those might be going on, but it comes to mark him.
I'm playing a Turkish publisher in Istanbul. The publisher has been publishing books for 40 years from the Middle East, from the writers of the Middle East. And Cengiz meets me, and that meeting changes the course of his life.
It's a book of poems by Faiz Ahmed Faiz, one of the greatest poets in Urdu, probably the 20th century. It's about social justice, it's about freedom, and also about timeless themes like love.
Well, we are on my favorite street in New Delhi, and we are in the family home of the movie, The Reluctant Fundamentalist. You could be in Lahore right now. So welcome to both the real family, the film family, and also to hear Shabana sing Bol is kind of extraordinary because Bol has become, of course, our anthem for this film. Most of Faiz Saab's work is the anthem for this film. And Ammi says he doesn't want to sing Aju.
He's an American now.
He's an American now. So then Abu says he's mute, but he's not deaf. So you listen.
It is a short poem that exhorts the people to speak. It's called Bol. Bol means speak. And it's really about giving strength to people to be able to speak, to be able to protest, to speak the truth as they know it. And the poet says, this little time that you have to speak the truth, speak without fear.
Okay, so we have always Uf Kyun, always Abu. Yeah. Why does the power go out in the middle of my program?
Uf Kyun. I play the role of Beena, who is Chengiz's sister. This is my character in the movie plays a character on television. It was an actual show on Pakistani television. It was very, very popular and very funny. And this, in the movie, we're doing a spoof of a sitcom that was a spoof to begin with. As somebody who has been born and bred in Lahore, I can definitely say that it's real life, everyday life is very different from watching footage on the media, for example.
You never think Pakistan, the land of drones and beheadings and assassinations, could ever be a place where there's great bonhomie, great family ties, extraordinary music, extraordinary painting. So I feel that this film, in showing both worlds with equal intimacy and actually equal love, will create a dialogue, will create a conversation.
We're at the Anglo-Islamic School. It's in the middle of, well, it's just on the edge of Old Delhi by Ajmeri Gate, and it's an old Mughal estate dating back to the late 1500s. And we've built a set along one edge of it to create our Anarchy Bazaar, which is supposed to be in Lahore in Pakistan.
The guy you were shooting, was he whacking the flies on the dates? So the flies just kind of get ground into the dates?
Like chocolate-covered ants.
He was very diligent in his work.
It was a tip from the prop master who shot here on Gandhi, and I was looking for a campus and had exhausted most of the possibilities, and was asking him if he knew of any old university campus. Was there an old university campus here?
And the school continues through the shooting?
Yeah, they do.
It's interesting actually being here, because I just found out the other week that my granddad's uncle used to be the president of this college that we're filming at today. And apparently this was a college, the Anglo-Arabic college, it's quite an amazing history. It was the first college to teach Western science in Delhi. It was also involved in the Aligarh movement and was instrumental in helping, in the creation of Pakistan as well. So had quite an illustrious career, but I had no idea about it until, last week, and here we are. So I guess right now I have a kind of sense of reconnecting to my own heritage as well, being here filming.
समीर है इनकी टीचिंग असिस्टेंट है, ये प्रोफेसर है। समीर कह रहा है कि देखो गोरे ने गन लगाई है प्रोफेसर पे, तो आप बहुत गुस्से में हैं, आप उनके तरफ आते हैं, देन तब ये एक्शन होगा जो आपने देखा है. So they need to just work it out so that the surge is the silence and the surge. Yeah, the surge, the silence and the surge.
Again, they violently charge.
Okay, guys, everyone, take 2 steps back, please. 2 steps back.
Back, guys.
AD department, get them into position. Yeah, action. Hey. Go back. Very good.
So the cue for Amrit
is to when you turn him around
this way, and we're going. Come here. We'll do half speed. Take the hit.
To be honest, initially what attracted me was Mira. She's somebody that I've always admired and somebody that I'm eager to work with on anything. And then I read Mohsin's book, and I just felt like it was a really timely piece and really provocative in a way that I was drawn to, and incendiary even a little bit, in a way that I think is healthy. And it also raised the ugly question of complexity and ambiguity in foreign policy, particularly America's foreign policy in relation to the rest of the world.
Hajo!
Bang! Abhi, aap sab.
Come on, this way.
Come on!
It's a fake.
I love those scenes. They're fun, they always bring out the 13-year-old in me. Unfortunately, I no longer have a 13-year-old body, so they're getting trickier and trickier. With the crowd and the dust and the chaos, it felt like what it was supposed to be, and that's always good because that really helps you when you're trying to get into it.
Liev, what I like in terms of the believability of where the shot has gone is if you were, before you landed kind of on your elbow, like you're not fully down.
There's so much motion in this, I won't be able to control that.
Okay.
Background action!
The university students are all rioting because the police is on campus and there's CIA people on campus, so there's a lot of tension happening. Oh, and by the way, I'm also getting shot in the scene.
So this is Aplozimat, and then and he gets hit, and he just falls, or he just slumps, right? And then they lower him, he goes down, and then you are here.
Right.
Yeah, he's been hit here.
I'm not dead, is it?
No, you're not dead. You only die at the tree. Nothing is quite what it might seem. Anything can happen at any moment. So there's a tension in the way we're trying to sort of capture attention in the way that we are conceiving the shots.
Yeah, because I'm gonna move quicker to make room for more action.
The camera is never on a tripod in this film. It's never on sticks. It's never static. It is always moving, and even when we do someone talking to us in a direct way, the camera has the breath of life in it. You know, it's always there's a sense of movement. Of course, I have the great privilege of working with a master poet like Declan Quinn, with whom I've made many films. And so we really understand each other, and we both tried to find a language, something that represented that unpredictability, the tightrope. The tightrope is what we always talk about, because the audience will never know until the very end whether Cengiz is a terrorist or isn't he one.
Well, what attracted me most is Meera Nair. She makes entertaining films, but yet she wants to say something through the films. Cinema can be understood anywhere in the world. It's like music. Music can be understood without even knowing the language.
Music is like my breath of life. I mean, I can't live without music, and so often in the trials and travails of making this movie, when it wasn't easy to make this film, music was what kept me going. The Qawwalis, the what starts the movie is a great family of Qawwals from Karachi who literally walked across the border from Pakistan to India to be in the first 10 minutes of the film.
Qawwali music is a kind of Pakistani gospel jazz. I'd say gospel because it's devotional and religious and spiritual, jazz because a lot of it's improvised and it has a really kind of rebellious, subversive spirit to it.
The collaboration of the crew that came together to work, crews from America, crews from India, crews from Pakistan, and we had people even from South Africa, Australia, Britain. Our DP is Irish American, and this is the challenge in our film, is to invite people in to see a story from a different point of view.
On our action, these two emerge from this melee. Then we see the SUV behind them get into position, and these two we see leading the SUV into position and completely on guard.
In the movie, we are special forces.
From where?
From America. I was trying to get on the metro with my wife and some friends, and Dinaz came running down the stairs and said that she really wanted us to be in the movie. I'm actually a dentist.
I shoot non-stop of everything that's going around, anything that will help me remember. Who's in the front of the crowd when they come out? Those are important faces. We need to know that when we turn around to do that reverse, these are the people who will be in the foreground. The script has traveled from Atlanta to New York City to India. These are storyboards. This is for the bigger scenes we do, when they're action scenes. Each frame shows the shot that we will be doing to cover this sequence, the riot sequence. 3 days to shoot, but probably about 2 minutes screen time. We've done number 6, we've done number 7, we've done number 8.
And we've done number 9.
We've done number 9.
I know. A butcher shop in Sharon-Walla Gate.
We found Rainier in a morgue in Jenna Hospital.
That's what I looked at.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Before that, I'm trying to. I don't give a shit what he says now because I'm bleeding to death.
But after that, we do.
But when he says we found him in a morgue, immediately it's like what?
And in the morning, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Just to stress that.
Sure.
I know you are.
Anybody want any chicken?
No, please.
No, you sure? Chicken?
Is there barbecue? The experience of meeting people is enriching in itself. Just being here, I've just never been to this part of the world. I heard my first call to prayer, even though there are mosques in New York and even Vancouver, but I honestly can't say I've ever actually heard the call to prayer ever until I was here. I'm getting a very special sort of introduction to the country, and if I was just a tourist, it would be totally different.
My favourite scene was on the roof, looking all over Delhi, though. That was just beautiful. There's so much vibrance and energy. You can't describe it. It's large. Okay.
Masood never got to read my book. 6 months after it came out, he was killed by a bomb hidden in a video camera.
Cool.
2 days after that, the guys who killed Masood took down the towers. That's when I realized I'd been wrong.
Can you say that line again now?
And that's when I realized that I think your line is better, to be clear.
So I decided to do something about it.
That's when I realized I'd been wrong, so I decided to do something about it, and I picked a side. No, that's when I realized I'd been wrong, so I decided to do something about it, and I picked a side. Good.
Okay.
That'll make sense.
Yeah.
I'll act it even better the next time.
Okay. Don't waste any time, please.
Mira, you just convinced him to play in the movie?
Yes, he's the principal of the school, and we need beards and older men. And I nailed him. Yeah.
But you need to tell him that he needs to be with us too.
Bye. Yay. Dunya. Taya. Chaya. Nun balam. Tanalam. Bayalam. Yanulam. Tashalam. Nun banun. Hashim. Ka. Zal. Zal. Zwad. Zo. Lam. Lamjim. Lam. Balamba.
Very good.
In the novel, what I was trying to do was much more confront the audience, the reader, with their own interpretations. And the things that you are feeling as a reader are coming as much from inside you and your own beliefs about stereotypes or inclinations. Nothing thrilling happens in the novel, but it is kind of like a thriller. And the reason it can do that is because the reader is already frightened before they start reading the book. In the film, things become much more explicit. People state their politics more clearly. At the same time, the film, I think, tries to humanize different political points of view and also tries to play with a degree of ambiguity that doesn't get resolved until the end.
So, but that's exactly right. Salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam.
I think I can help.
Yeah, I knew you would. We have high hopes for you.
Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I think I can help. I knew you would.
Yeah.
We're like weaklings in the world. I've become a university professor in political economy. One of the students asked me if I'd like to meet other like-minded people, and I'm taken to a meeting of Asl Mujahideen and confronted with the head of the group who tries to recruit me into the group. We made a lot of things
all the Pakistani clothing was all made here by tailors, and because there are very specific differences to Indian clothing, so we couldn't really go out and buy things. So we made them, and then we added into them like more kind of modern, contemporary elements for the students, you know, things that they would buy on the street. The interesting thing about this part of the world, India and Lahore and everywhere, is that there is like a rich mix of kind of Western clothing, which is easy and modern, but there's also like this very underlying sense of tradition.
Like the fact that he's sparking debate among students is a good thing.
What if she shows her dupatta? Put this on and then we'll talk. Easy for you to say. Try this on.
How about try being a woman and speaking up?
Chingiz is going to give his first university lecture, so...
That's a massive diversion away from what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
Okay,
I feel like we're trying to do a lot
Sir,
of
with all due respect,
It's really important that we get this lecture really right.
What does he lecture the students about?
I can't tell you yet.
Chingiz's point of view and Chingiz's politics are that Pakistanis need to be self-reliant. They should neither accept dictates from the rest of the world, nor blame their misfortunes on the rest of the world, but you know, in a sense, morally grow up and take an adult responsibility for the world they find themselves in, and to change that world in the way they would like to see it changed.
It's really about like what can you do to affect change in your life as a young person. And I think that in the world right now, as we've seen so many young people across, you know, with the Arab Spring, and, you know, we've seen so many young people take control of their own lives, I think this message hopefully will really resonate among young audiences too.
Camera action. Action.
I had never seen a film about contemporary life in Pakistan. This story gave me the chance to let people see beyond that terrible stereotype that is constantly projected in our text, in our media, in our television screens about, you know, if you're a Muslim, you're a terrorist. If you're an American, you're a militarist. You know, to seek beyond that, to really know the story of human beings who make up these worlds, and the fact that these human beings are no different actually from each other. It's just so much is ignorance, so much is insularity, so much is just plain short-sightedness, so much is people not understanding what the world is, you know, like their place in the world, rather than thinking that their home is the center of all existence.
Thank you.
Intense. It's like a roller coaster, really. You know, filming in 3, it will be 4 different cities. Such a different vibe in each one of them. And yeah, it feels like we've really done a lot of the meat of the film here in India, so it's been great.
In the 10 years between 9/11 and Osama bin Laden's death, a young man grew up. And this is the story of that young man. A citizen of the world, but someone who believed that he has something to say, but he must say it in a place that he will be heard.